What's good, everybody? Welcome back to yet another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing some of the most important soft skills that I feel are important as a software engineer. So basically, maybe not as a software engineer per se, but if you're a person who's going to be working with other people. So for as much as we work with computers and whatnot, but that's a lie. We don't work with computers as much as we think we do. It's just a perception. We still do interact with people, like, a lot. Okay, so these are some of the things that you don't get taught at school, but I would like to look at them as life skills. They are that life orientation that you used to not like. So basically, let's get straight into it. So soft skill number one that I feel is important is effective communication. I mean, that's like an all-rounder. Like, just generally, you just need to be a good let me not say good communicator, but like you need to, communicate with people effectively. Effectively means that whatever you're saying, whatever you're communicating needs to be comprehended to the other person, meaning that you can't also it is okay. Another thing, the effective communication is so broad that if you're talking, for example, you're communicating with somebody who's non-technical, you need to be effective in your communication in such a way that everybody is going to be on board, and we're all going to be on the same page, in terms of working with other developers or working in a project. Effective communication would also mean that you do say when you struggle, like you don't sit there and just struggle for years and years onwards, right? And that will create problems, in terms of timelines and deadlines and so forth. But it's very much important for one to communicate effectively. That is raising your hand, shouting should you need help, and also what I find to not understand. Some people don't like, we have a sprint, guys, right? You know when you're gonna finish the sprint or when you're not gonna finish it. It's important to say that, okay, look, no one is gonna die. Like, trust me, just communicate, okay? On number two, we have self-awareness. So basically, with self-awareness, I would say that in general, as a person, you are aware of what you can do and what you're confident in and what you know, and all of those things, right? Self-awareness means that you know when you don't know. Do you understand? And you admit that you don't know and you seek for help. There's nothing wrong with that. um uh, you know I wouldn't even say you humble yourself and admit. No, just admit. Like, you don't have to humble yourself. Just self-awareness says, okay, well, from what I understand, you admit when you don't know, and let it be a learning moment for you. I mean, I've had a lot of those situations from my experience learning to, you know, allow myself to not know and to learn, instead of trying to be that person who knows everything. I know I don't know everything. So that's where self awareness comes in, and it's very much important in your growth as a software developer or as a person generally, So yeah. So in at number three, okay, so this one, right? I see life skill, but in software development, software engineering. Um, Time management is very important. It's very crucial. Okay, so there's a lot of parties that are involved. For as much as it could be like a milestone for the team and whatnot, but there's a bigger idea in all of it. There's, for instance, if you work in a healthcare, or let's say hospital systems and whatnot, so some of the functionalities are, some of the hospital processes are dependent on the functionality that you're building, right? It means that people could potentially die and whatnot. So if there's a timeline, guys, if there's a deadline, you must meet it, so others, there's so many implications, including loss of life, loss of money. Money can be recovered, but people's lives cannot be recovered, okay? So you need to put that into consideration when it comes to this whole shebang, time management, but also make sure that you're involved in planning of your sprints, planning of the work that's expected from you, so that you do not get implicated should the time frame that is specified not be correct, because you could be implicated. So let's say you know that developing a certain functionality could take you 5 years, for instance, ne? And then the project manager or whomever could, I know there's places where people just make decisions without your consultation. I'm not saying that's what happens to everyone, but I'm just saying that just make sure that you are aware, of all of those things, so that you don't get yourself implicated. Because if one of your people says it will take you 3 days, and when you know it's going to take you 2 months, already you're going to be gonna look like the developer who doesn't know how to you know produce work on time. You're gonna be the bad guy, because it should take you 3 days. So it's very much important to also not implicate yourself, for as much as yes, you need to deliver on time, but also make sure that you are part of the planning in terms of the turnaround time. So should you not deliver on time, you are also made aware of these changes or whatever expectations that were put out. So that's not on that. So in a number 4, we have accountability. Shoo, that's a big one. So that I consider a life skill. I would take it into my life as well. So growing up, I've always known that if I break a cup, my grandmother's cup, when she comes back from work, I have to go report it to her that I have, broke her cup. And, it's just me admitting my fault and telling on myself, so that she doesn't ask who did this, and no one knows, and everybody's like, so it comes with effective communication, basically. But anyway, it's very important as a software developer to own whatever piece of software that you're building, functionality, whatever that is. It's very much important for you to own it. Should it go wrong, it's on you, my darling. Then you fix it. Also, like, if you've created a bug or you've made a mistake, then it's fine, you fix it. Regardless, fine, there's going to be implications, but like accountability says, I'm admitting that I'm the one who developed this functionality, and I might have missed a certain whatnot, and I will fix it. That is you admitting to your fault and taking accountability. That does not only go for software engineers only, but goes to everybody who plays a role in software engineering. That includes your scrum masters, your project managers, your business analysts, your test analysts, and everybody else who is involved in the project or in the piece of software that is being developed, right? For as much as, yes, developer, you did develop, but also as a tester, you missed the bug. Also take accountability for that. So yeah, the start of that, just take accountability as a person in general. Then if you're an accountable person, surely translating that into the work that you do should not be difficult. Okay. Okay, so last but not least, we have teamwork makes the dream work. You know the saying. Bad boys, what you gonna do when we come for ya? I think that's what it says. Teamwork makes the dream work. Totally agree with that. But the other most important thing is to not throw your fellow people under the bus. There's those people who, when they see other people, or now they want to look smart, ngawe, kubon, now they're going to throw you under the bus. We need to cover each other's backs, whatnot, but not at the expense of you, obviously, but like find ways to work together, and help when you can. Because another thing, like, teamwork is always one-sided, but like my definition of teamwork is never pour from an empty cup. Also help where you can, never overextend yourself. That's not teamwork, that is self-sabotage, that is self-hate. That's how I look at it. Also, never be a gatekeeper. Okay, so share information when you can, but I'm not trying to promote laziness. I'm not trying to promote laziness. I'm not saying do work for other people, but like share whatever little information that you feel could help the next person with their task and whatnot. I'm not saying do it for them or whatever. I'm not promoting laziness, but I'm just like, just share where you can, you know, that's if it's necessary. But covering for each other, working together, you know, it's not a competition. There's people who think that it's a competition. It's not. You all work for one company, you're in the same team. The whole point is for you guys to deliver good quality work on time. Um, so yeah, that's that and that. So basically, those are my top 5 soft skills, life skills that I feel are important as a software engineer. And that's it from me. And goodbye, everybody.